What is up, everybody? We are back, and we are going to be making some more baits today. So, if you watched the last video, we made some baits for an order that included some of our black and blue plastisol, and now I have a whole bunch left over from that and making baits in the past. So, I figured what better way to get rid of the plastisol is to actually make some of our best sellers. I don't have an order for them today, but we've got a vendor's market in November, so I definitely want to make sure I have some of these. And it's now all my orders are starting to die down, so I want to focus on restocking for next year. And I don't think I put a big enough focus on that this year. I restocked some stuff. I really underestimated how much these black and blue were going to sell. So we're probably going to make this entire cup of plastisol of just black and blue worms today because they sold a lot. They're in all three of my stores. They sold the best at vendors markets. They sold the best being ordered just on their own. So I want to make sure I have a ton made for this upcoming year. Well, I guess next year. Don't really have to worry about that yet because it's still fishing season, but we're gonna make a whole bunch of black and blue baits today. So our best seller. So let's throw this in the plastic, or throw this in the plastic. Let's throw this in the microwave, um, and we can remelt because we've already got a whole bunch of it. So all we have to do today is remelt. We don't have to worry about actually putting in colorant or anything. So let's let this remelt, and then we can make some of our black and blue baits. Okay, we've got our plasol all ready, and oh my gosh, it is full. We got a full cup of plastisol. It could not be any fuller without actually overflowing. So we gotta be really careful not to spill it all over my desk. And I'm not gonna add in anything, I don't think, because this is just the same recipe I'd use anyways. So I like the color of the black, and the glitter looks good, so we're just gonna stick with this. All right, let's get this in the mold. Okay, I think we got 3 out of the 4 that are going to turn out, but that definitely looks better. That's easier to work with than a full thing of plastisol. So we're going to let that set, and then we can check them out after. I'm pretty confident that these are going to turn out good. They always do. They're our best sellers. I mean, I know what they look like, but I always love checking them out. I think they're such a cool combo. The blue and the black always look super nice together. All right, our baits are going to be done in a second, but just wanted to show really quick the last video we made. We made these baits. They're all packaged. I haven't been delivered yet, but we've got our purple and black baits, our black and blue, and then we've got our white and gold. The more I look at these, I think it's definitely growing on me. I think it's actually a really nice combo. Um, yeah, I think I wasn't sure about them at first just because, like, obviously I've never seen them or I've never made them before, so I wasn't too sure about them, but I think they turned out pretty nice. So that's our baits. Package pretty basic, just clear bags and a little sticker. But let's check out our black and blue here. Ooh, yeah, these look nice. These always look super nice. Our black and blue. I actually got a funny story about these. We were all fishing one day, and we really didn't use soft baits much. This is years ago. This is before I started my business. We didn't fish soft baits much, and we just heard some guys talking while we were out on the lake, and they were mentioning black and blue worms. And we ended up looking, and we had some. So that's where we all started using that. And then yeah, I started making them because we caught fish on them, and then everyone started buying them. So yeah, if we weren't out on the lake that day, I don't know if these would be our best seller or if I'd even make them. But yeah, these look super nice. They always turn out awesome, and I don't think these turned out. Yeah, these ones didn't turn out, so we can throw that back in the microwave. But yeah, we still got tons of plastisol left, so we're gonna make some more. But yeah, I always am super happy with how these turn out. I think they're definitely one of my. They're just a basic combo, but they always look so nice. The like light blue and just obviously a darker body, and then like a nice light glitter. I think it always looks super nice, and the black really lets the blue show through. Yeah, so let's make some more of these because we got tons of plastisol left, and we're definitely going to need a whole bunch of these. Want to make sure I'm stocked up for the vendors market. So let's get our plastisol back in the microwave. All right, we got our next batch done. Let's check these out here. Yeah, just like the first ones. Super nice. I think we're going to make a lot of these because we have still a ton of plastisol left. So, yeah, we still got like almost a full cup even after making all those. So, dang. There you go. I always find it just so fascinating. Just sitting here messing with colors. Like, once you know how to make your baits, you're pretty good. And you want to make sure you're getting good quality baits and all that kind of stuff. But I find one of the most fun parts about doing this is just messing around with colors. Around with colors until you find your best seller. And actually, I've had a lot of luck just asking people on social media what they want to see me make. And those have turned into some of my favorite baits. But yeah, so we got a ton of the worms here. Yeah, looks super nice. So we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing and make some more of these. All right, we're just about to get another batch going here. So we're just gonna reset up our molds. But if you guys have any suggestions of videos you want to see me make, either if it's baits or you just have video ideas, let me know in the comments because I want to know what you guys want to watch. If you like this kind of content of just bait making, or if you want, I've actually had some people mention not ASMR, but kind of being able to hear everything that's going on um, with the bait making, with like the stirring and injecting and all that kind of stuff. So if that's seems like something you want to watch, let me know, and I can definitely do that. But let's check our plastisol real quick. I think it's gonna need more time. Yeah, still not completely. Still not completely melted yet, so yeah, we're gonna put that back in. Let's check what we're at here. Well, we're at 330, so we're 320 there. Yeah. So let's try and break this down a little bit. I think that's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I think we got the big. Oh, there it is there. Just try and help it break it down. The more you can pull apart your baits before you, like the ones that don't turn out or any plastisol that doesn't, the little like part here that doesn't come out, the more you can rip that up, the better it'll melt. It's just easier to melt it when it's really small. So let's throw that back in. It probably needs another like 30 seconds, and then we'll be good to make more baits. All right, our baits been given time to set. So, oh, let's see what they look like. I wonder. Oh, just like the other ones we already made. Look at that. I don't know. I never get bored of these baits. They just look so nice. It's just such a simple combination of colors, but they just always look so nice. I find that and red and black look super nice together too. Like a red base and then some black flake. But we are definitely going to be able to make a lot of these. So it might not be the most entertaining video if you're looking for just a variety of baits because we're just making the same bait over and over again. But I think they're cool and we need them because these sell like crazy. There was at one point this year that I could not make these baits fast enough because right as I was all good and I had some in stock and I didn't have to worry about them, someone would order them. Or I'd get into a store and they'd want my bestseller. And obviously, I want to give them my bestseller because it keeps them coming back. So we're going to need a ton of these. So we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing, making more baits. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. It's kind of just like a chill little bait making video. But yeah, we need them. So we're just going to keep doing this and make some more baits. We're going to push these aside for a second. And I'm just going to show you guys a trick that I do in case you make baits yourself. So I actually throw all my baits once I'm done with them in a cold bucket of water. I've actually seen plenty of videos of people that do that, and it just helps them set. Now, from my experience, you don't want to leave them in there because they kind of get like I can't even really describe it. It's kind of like a slimy material. I don't know if it's like the plastisol that like because I've had them in there at some points for like multiple days. And they will get like some kind of like slimy texture to them. Once you take them out and they are like just setting again, like outside of the water, they regain the same way they should feel. But I like to keep them in there for like an hour. Like I will just make my baits and then once I'm finished, I will take them out and let them set. But I find the cold water going in straight after, like straight out of the mold, it's nice to just hit them with some cold water to help them get that like initial set and have them so you're able to touch them without kind of indenting them. Because that's the one thing you want to be really careful with when you're first taking them out of the mold. Some people let them set for like, I've heard some people do it for 15 minutes. Me, I find like I will let them set in here for like 3 minutes. And they always turn out fine. I find that anything under that I wouldn't do, but I'll let them set for like 3 minutes and then I'll very carefully take them out. You don't really want to touch them too much because they're still at risk of having an indent in them. So if you're having problems with your baits not setting right or not setting straight, I recommend doing that. Just let them set. Make sure they're laid out nice and flat for 24 hours, and I find that always works. All right, we got more of our baits done. Last video I just recorded a little bit and it had no sound, so going through, we've got all of our baits turned out again. We grab them here. These ones here split the second ones, but that's all right. There is all the worms. Look just like the other 29 we've already made, but look at that. I'm actually excited to see how many we end up coming out with because we started with a lot of plastisol. I think it was over, how much is this? I think this is like, yeah. So we've got a liter of plastisol here, but we were like overflowing. So yeah, that's probably like 5 or 6 cups of plastisol that we just used there. So we're gonna see how many we can get out of that. But I'm not gonna bore you guys with making these same baits over and over and over again. So I'm just gonna come back at the very end once we have all the baits finished and we can see our final number that we made. We'll be back once I have all of the baits done. All right, we just finished making all our baits. As you can tell, our plastisol is pretty much out. There they all are. We ended up making, I think 102 was our final number. So we got over 100 baits out of that. Obviously, there's still a little bit of plastisol left. So I'm not going to throw that out. I'll keep it for when we make these black and blue next. But wow. This is insane. All these baits. I definitely had a lot of fun making these. Just the amount of them that we were able to make is awesome. They all turned out super nice. So yeah, there we go. It was just a nice chill bait making video. So these are going to set for 24 hours now that they're out of the water. Make sure they all set straight and they are ready for either orders or to go in stores. Whatever ends up happening with them. So if you want to see more videos like this of me making baits, let me know in the comments. Or if you want to see something specific, also let me know. If you like videos like this of me making baits, make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video.